Hi, I'm Ivanovici, and I played Talos Rucker in Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. I remember actually when I had to create the character for the audition originally, the little piece of text that you get really gets you on track in terms of what are the limitations. And with Talos, what was great is his language was very diplomatic, very concerned about a peaceful resolution to a very trying time. Actually, not unlike times right now in a way, as people grow separated from one another ideologically, it becomes important that somebody holds the middle line. I was told he had a German accent, so I started to introduce first a German accent like this, and then I felt like he had been kind of worldly, so I decided he had maybe a little bit of a British lilt, a kind of educated, not fully aristocratic, but a touch of upper class. So then it softens the German a tiny bit, and you get a little flavor of the British coming through at the same time. And so all of a sudden, the character starts to appear. I remember just feeling the weight of his situation, a figurehead for a group that's seeking, let's say, equal rights in a society that is afraid of them, and not resorting to violence as a means of getting it. There's something very touchy about finding that balance, and I remember trying to get into it in the sense of where are my uncomfortable areas. You know, every day we make decisions. For example, I'm a parent, and you try to draw on the experiences of your life, and you don't want to make decisions that keep your children from learning from their own mistakes, but at the same time you don't want them to make huge mistakes. So I guess that's one personal anecdote as far as where I connected with Talos Rucker. So one of, I suppose, the most exciting day was when we did motion capture for the interrogation. There were a lot of alternative paths of dialogue based on the questioning that a player might choose, an avenue to get answers from Talos, which was a tremendous challenge in terms of memorization and execution, finding the variations with sometimes quite similar language that lead to a different outcome. This was probably one of my most challenging days of work on set in a video game since I started doing video games. But it was rewarding. Once we got to the end of it, we were all proud that we got there, although it did get a little hairy in terms of time versus content realized. But we did complete the day, and we were all quite happy about that. He's the kind of character that I feel the world needs, It's a kind of reasonable leadership where you have an ideal, which I think humans need, and you also have a rational practicality, so that they're not so far apart that, the ideal is completely disconnected from real life. In a character like Talos, you have those two elements, which basically, when you see a leader that inspires you, that tends to be the way. He also managed to get people to believe in something, and the dreams were not so disconnected that you couldn't relate to them as something real. That was the element that I felt was important as far as launching the story, that we see that voice basically has rivals that are willing to go to tremendous lengths to silence him. I think that You know, as a citizen, I aspire to find that balance between an ideal and practical execution. You know, in our lives, we're often confronted with hypocrisy. We might have an ideal, but our actions say something else. And I think that, you know, a character that has actions that are linked to their ideals in a profound way tend to inspire other people. I hope to eliminate as much hypocrisy as I can tolerate and live up to the same standards as someone like Talos Rucker. I'm far from that, but you know, I'm doing my best. Well, one of the exciting features of working on the Deus Ex franchise is that when we come into work, there's an openness to creativity and to, you know, shifting within the set parameters. And I never encountered any kind of ego as far as ownership of creativity and, you know, my idea, or it was always about finding the best result. And I think when a team creates that way, whether it's a video game or the theater or music or whatever, you end up with a better product. It might take a little more time, but it's worth it. Well, working for Eidos on these games, because I've done a couple of the Deus Ex games, has always been a tremendous pleasure. Every time I walk into the motion cap studio or into the sound booth or whatever, I'm always excited, and I always come with a lot of enthusiasm and leave with even more. And I hope the game gives you the feeling that we had making it.